to this country, landed in 1984 in Odessa, Texas, from the big city in Quito, Ecuador. I can tell you so many stories about me. Let's go with that one. Okay. So, 1984, we came into Odessa, Texas. My stepfather, my stepmonster, worked in oil and petroleum in Quito, Ecuador, right, my country. And when the government shut businesses down for the Americans, he found a job in Odessa, Texas. So there we were in the beautiful metropolis of Quito. Buildings, museums, galleries, you name it, fun things to do, a lifestyle, a memorable lifestyle. So, and when we came to Odessa, things turned very dark. My stepfather became very dark. He became very addictive to whatever was available. He became an alcoholic. Whatever was happening, he was there. Spent all the money we came to this country with. We ended up in a 3-bedroom apartment in Odessa, Texas. And so I remember walking home from school one day, and the language was a challenge as well, but I remember coming home and 14 years old, there I was, right? Not thinking much about anything. And as we approached the apartment, I hear banging and banging and banging. I'm going, what in the world is going on? And I see my stepfather on top of my mother in the kitchen, just banging at her. So I took a cast iron pan, because I didn't know what else to do, and I started hitting him until he finally dropped. And so when that happened, I immediately ushered my brothers, 3 boys, my mom, and I out the window, and I said, hey, call the police, call for help, call somebody. Call the police, and here's my first lesson in real estate, right? So for those that are in real estate, I've been in real estate for 30 years, comes a police officer. Not, is your mother okay? Does she need care? Can we give her some napkins? Can we give her some toilet paper? No. He says, whose name is on the lease? And of course, my drunken stepfather says, So they immediately ushered us into a police car and dropped us into a homeless shelter. So let me backtrack for a tiny second. My life in Ecuador was, as a friend said, privilege, right? I had anything I wanted. I had a castle that was probably 40,000 square feet, indoor, outdoor pool, I had chauffeurs, I had limo drivers, I had anything I wanted. I was one spoiled little brat. If I wanted a necklace, it was like, I want it now. A brat. Anyway, so when this happened in Odessa, and they dropped us into a homeless shelter, I knew the world had turned completely upside down. And so if I wasn't courageous to get our life out of there, we were gonna be stuck, forgotten forever. So needless to say, I told my mother, okay, I said 2 weeks and we're out of here. I don't care how we do it, 2 weeks, we're out of here. So at 14 years old, I went back to school the next day and I said, I went to the bad kids. There's always this corner for the bad kids, right? And I said, listen, $500, I need an ID that says I'm 18 today. Give me an ID that says I'm 18 today. And I started working 3 jobs. So my older brother, my mother, and I started at 3:30 in the morning. And so we started doing cinnamon rolls at Granny's. And then I went to school from 8 to 1. From 1 to 5, I went to Nimitz Elementary School. And I started doing administrative skills, learning how to answer the phone, do office work. From 6 to midnight, I was working as a manager at a pizza place. Oh, those were good days, huh? I was lucky if I got 2 hours sleep at night, but we did it. 2 weeks later, I said, Mom, let's go. So we went to the apartment complex where we were at since they knew us, and I said, cash. Put the lease under my name. My mother says, no, both of us. I said, no, Mom, no one will ever take a roof over me again, ever. Everything goes under my name. So I started working, through high school. I finished. And I remember the kids going, I'm so excited, homecoming's coming. The games in Odessa was all about football. If anybody knows Odessa, dirt ground, dirty shoes, oil fields, smelly people, nasty town. But football was the name of the game, right?
So a lot of deer out there too.
Yeah, and a lot of pigs too. But anyway, so worked through that, and as we moved into our apartment, things were going great until my stepfather got evicted from his apartment. And my dear mom, as it goes with tragedy, right? She picks him right back up and says, he's coming to live with us. And I'm like, excuse me? Did you forget what happened? What are you doing here? no, where's he gonna go? He's got nobody. I said, okay, Mom. I said, okay, come, he'll live with us. But if he screws up one time, and I mean one hair, he's out for good. A little resentful, a little angry, yeah, just a tad. So it happened. One evening, I remember being at home by myself, just watching TV, relaxing, if you can call it that, when I hear this thump on my patio door, and I'm going, what in the world is going on? It was him. He came home drunk, had lost the key to the apartment, and he's like, let me in, let me in, let me in. I'm like, I said, okay. So I grabbed my car keys. And at that time, there was no cell phones, no such things, right? Unless you had a big suitcase. So I grabbed my car keys, and I said, okay. I ran and met him at the front door, and he picks me up and shoves me up against the corner, and I went, okay, I still held on to my car keys. So he goes stumbling onto the couch, passes out. I walked out and I said, payback, baby, come on. So I called everybody, and I said, come on, it's gonna be fireworks. I called the police, called everybody, and I said, ask me your question. Ask me right now. Here's my paperwork, get him out. And of course, he was so upset, he started punching the police officers. They threw him in there, and he went in jail for 30, 60 days. So he kept calling home, collect, and saying, Karina's dead. I'm gonna kill her, get out, I'm gonna kill her. So I'm like, okay. So I called, at that time I was, surpassed myself, my expectations, and started working for a chiropractor. Told the chiropractor, I will clean your house, I will do whatever it takes, but take me in, please. So he did. Ended up cleaning his house, staying with him for a while. And so my stepfather, came to me. Thank God my chiropractor was there. So I was leaving the clinic. He stepped outside and he says, grabs me by the neck, and the chiropractor said, you touch him and you're dead. And he pulled a gun on him. So I finally backed out and went away. Thank God. So anyway, let me go back to our story. So all my brothers are 1 year apart. My older brother, I'm number 2, and I've got 2 other brothers. When my third brother graduated from high school, I'm going to, Mojo, Permian High, if anybody knows that. I mean, oil and petroleum deep in the neck, right? So my brother graduated, the U-Haul was packed, and I said, no celebrating, buddy. Jump in the truck, let's go. We started driving, and we ended up in this little town, Arlington. So if anybody knows where St. Matthew's Church is, Lover's Lane, that was our first rental house. And, the story changed for us from then on. So it's been a rude awakening. And I tell you, I had challenges with the language as well, because in Ecuador, as you remember, I was a spoiled brat. So, right, who needs English, right? It's a little girl, 10 years old, who needs it? I was going to an international school in Ecuador. All the bells and whistles, all the fun I can get. And I didn't need English, except when I came to Odessa, Texas, which is huge discrimination. So it didn't matter if I was green, purple, yellow, black, or blue. I was a Mexican, and I was the Mexican of the worst kind. So I went to school, and I remember my teacher, my history teacher, I said, hey, just tell me what the homework is. I'll do it. I understand. Tell me what it's in Spanish, And she looked at me and she said, you go back to ESL classes, you dumb Mexican. I went, excuse me? So I called my professor in Ecuador, and I said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm a horrible person. Now I understand reality. Please teach me English. So he turned my world upside down. Taught me how to learn English immediately so I can survive, right? And then when I graduated high school, I went back to my teachers, and she was giving the certificates. And I told her, I said, God bless you for your wonderful words as I came into this country, I said, wow, no one gives you any handouts. Everything is hard work, and I know that. That's why being in Rotary makes it that much more special to me. I'm always out there to help someone. No one, I'm the underdog. I'm always proving myself right. So I am in real estate. It's been a tough journey, but today I can tell you I'm very successful. A happily married woman to my hubby over there, who had a birthday yesterday, by the way. So happy birthday to you, baby. And so with that,